Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you came. Welcome. And welcome to the Advancement Center. And also, welcome to the world of magic and miracles. If you have just discovered us here at the Advancement Center, you're just in time. And to those of you who have already become part of our universal family, your place at the never-ending table is all set with your name engraved in gold. You're all welcome, because today we shall all enjoy a feast. The feast of the unknown. Doesn't that sound exciting? Well, it is. It's extremely exciting. And that's why we're here, because you deserve to hear this. Speaking of the unknown, I listen every morning to the elegance of the unknown. And now I have the opportunity to present an extract that will give you a similar feeling about the unknown that I experience every day. Enjoy the combination of simplicity and complexity that is presented in the words that follow. There is always much more, but what is being said gives you and everybody else a picture of the future right now. So listen. On this occasion, we are talking on the subject of the unknown and how it can be used continually in your life without you even being aware of its action. If you decide to live beyond possibility and allow yourself to see, feel, and taste beyond any possibility, the unknown will become active in your life. And without revealing itself, it will bring into your life the perfection of the impossible. If you dance with spirit, you will see the unknown and how it continually appears in your life. It's wonderful. The unknown is so exciting to humanity that it has no place being hidden from the human reality. As we talk, you will notice that everything is acceptable as long as we talk of the unknown or the unseen. If we attempt to be more specific, then it is likely that a barrier will be raised and we will get no further. To prevent any such action, we will talk about the joy and excitement of something special happening, either ahead of time or with such ease that it is almost unbelievable. The effect on your life is amazing, and the feelings that are aroused are never forgotten. The general feeling of the surprise and hidden knowing that this was possible, but not likely, catches the feeling of accepting the unknown as part of your life. Feel it, expect it, and know beyond a doubt that it is a major part of your life. Although something seems impossible, you can know beyond a doubt that it will happen, or it will be replaced by something more impossible that never made itself known until the final moment. In working with the unknown, you are more in line with nature and the physical world than you can imagine. Are you listening and hearing this? You became, or rather, you become an active part of nature in encouraging the magic to perform on a daily basis and bring to the individual that special interplay with the functions of the universe that bring delight into everyone's heart. And they talk about it. The permanent installation of the unexpected in the reality of humanity has been tried many, many, many times, and now it is tied into the logic of personal development and circumstance, such that there is always some reason that can be started or stated to kill the actual function of the unknown and disconnect it from the unique elements of spirit where it belongs. The action of spirit is the true definition of the unknown. That's why we tell you to follow your spirit. And once there is acceptance of spirit in its true elevated state, there is the acceptance of the unknown. Yeah, take this on in your life, and you will experience a joy that can never be explained and will never let you down, even if you have forgotten. And now it is time to step forward and reveal the simplicity that is coming into our world. Yes. And that's why we say, welcome to the world of magic and miracles. Yes, it is time to step forward and reveal the deep down simplicity of your joy of being alive at this very moment. And we're so glad that you are with us. You've known this magic since childhood and held it from being led away when you were entered into the school system. Yeah. That was quite a situation you found yourself in. And your parents followed what was supposed to happen. They entered you into school. At first, you got there to play, and it was called kindergarten. And this wasn't going to be too bad. You know, you find new playmates and lots of toys and equipment. And wow, this is going to be fun. And then it starts. Yeah. With your formal education. Now, I just found a very interesting note. I love looking these things up, but I bet you didn't know that in 1984, it was noted that there are two Latin roots of the word educate. I've always known it as to lead away from. Well, let's see what it says here. Educare means to train or to mold. And the other educare, meaning to lead out. Lead out from what? Childhood? Childish ways? A child's knowing and love nature? A child's curiosity? Remembrance of an origin? An acute recognition of love that is true and honest? And an ongoing love of God? I ponder these things. In fact, it's in the forefront of my mind of consideration, which is why I'm a board member of the Peace School, a school that we are forming for children, and hopefully they'll be in an online school across the world. But the basic tenet of the Peace School is not to mold out, not to lead out of, but to listen. To listen to what that child knows far beyond their vocabulary or their ability to pontificate. But they know magic. They use magic every day when they're playing, and you pretend to be someone else or someplace else. So imagination is precious and must be nurtured. as well as learning how to get along in the world of physicality, of everything. So childhood is magic, and we don't have to obliterate it with desks attached to the floor. When my son David was 6 years old, I know I've mentioned this before, but it just stays with me. He stood in the backyard in full view from where I stood in the kitchen. I shall never forget his stillness for minutes. This was a child of God, communing with his Creator. I knew that. I felt it. And I realized the blessing that was happening. David has never lost that. Yes, he's grown. He's a father, a good father. But it's our memories that hold what actually happened and do not allow them to be diluted by fast-paced living, the television screen, the newspapers, everybody blaring out their message. We must nurture that child. Now, it gives me great pleasure to share an experience I had many years ago, and yet it could have happened yesterday. I was requested to speak to a group of young mothers. And they all had preschool age children. And these children were being looked after down the hall in another classroom, and they were enjoying all the toys while their mothers were having a deep experience for themselves. I had a wonderful time. Yes, and I remember this occasion fondly. I spoke to the little girl of each one of those mothers. We spoke of all things precious, like the nicknames that their grandparents gave them. I asked them what their nicknames were, and they all volunteered. And they said, oh, yes, he called me his little honey bunch. And then he died. I said, yes, but you remember Honey Bunch. And that is this preciousness of these relationships that you make when you're a little girl with special people who never leave you. Oh, that just went around the room and changed the atmosphere like a beautiful velvet, I don't know what, cover. And everyone was just moved. Whether or not they spoke out, it didn't matter. They were all remembering precious moments when they were little. Well, then we went on to remembering their favorite doll, their favorite dessert, and on with endless imagination of what a future could hold for them. They all had dreams. Some were going to be president of the United States, and others dreamt of just being a mommy. Every mother participated and offered distant memories and distant dreams. And every one of them took on life-sized feelings. What were these feelings? Joy, some sadness, and most of all the love that was lavished on them. What a magical time that was. It was just beautiful. I had every mother leaning forward in her chair in total engagement. That's what happened. And then I noticed that our designated hour was almost up. And I said, "We have just visited a most precious time of your life, your childhood, when you just dreamed of someday being a mommy. Well, that day is now. That little one that you welcomed into the world is just down the hall." And everything you held as a precious dream is now here as your beautiful little one, a son or a daughter, experiencing the magic and calling you mommy. No one stopped to say anything. Their thank you was how they rushed out the door and down the hall to claim and reclaim their magic from the past and now into their future. At the drop of a hat, I will give that hour anytime to anyone who has any doubts about how precious they are, how precious their dream has come true, and the importance of being a mother. And now it's time, journal time. For those who are new to the table, I have been writing in my journal for years. And I always address each day, I address it to dearest Simeon. And Simeon is my husband, Robert's twin brother in another realm. And here it is. I wrote this late last night. Dearest Simeon, when you spoke of the flow of love last night, I now see a river of love that has its source in the world of magic and miracles and flows through all the lands, farmland, cities, rich suburbs, and right through the most impoverished areas. It never stops moving, even though there are obstacles as it flows. The river's embrace knows no pre-selection. All finds refreshment, cleansing, cooling, or just a convenience to dump discards without caring what might contaminate the river's love and caring. Love is a river that flows regardless of the matter it meets along the way. The flow can be interrupted, but a force so great that it must continue to flow until it meets its destiny, the ocean, or greater outlet than itself. And I might add, Simeon always answers me. And this is what he wrote. Dearest Barbara, you just described yourself. We always knew that about you. Love, Simeon. That always surprises me. What am I looking for? I don't know. Oh, yes. This is the place and the time when I share what happened Thursday night at art class. But this was a special one for me because the day before Thursday, on Wednesday, when I was deep into digging around in my new garden and sitting on a very low stool, I looked up and I saw the most beautiful scene. So, of course, I grabbed my phone, took a photo, sent it to Mandar, and the next day he sent out an announcement that we will be using Barbara's photo as the model. So I was thrilled. And not only that, I was the expert on the scene, so I could tell people what that rise was or where the rock was. And here it is. And those of you who have been to our home will recognize this place. And what the other students did amazed me, and they were beautiful. So there it is. And I told Robert the other day that once you have a tree as your model, you have a special relationship with that tree. You've been inside, you've been in the limbs and the bark and the trunk and the leaves. So it was meaningful and wonderful. In fact, I sent it to my son and his wife, and she fired back a text. She said, "Is that around your house?" And I said, "Yep." So it's been a fun time with you. And just remember, you are always invited to our never ending table where we feast on the truth of magic and miracles. And at all times, wish you perfect life, perfect health, and a truly amazing future. Thank you for joining me. I am Barbara.